All right, so here I am in Adobe Express. Going to create a new flyer. So I just clicked on the plus sign there, create flyer. It's going to let me browse templates, but if I'm lucky, I get a blank page. If I don't get a blank page, guys, what I'm going to do is just pick one of these and then just delete everything. If you do Control A and then backspace or delete, it should release everything, and you're going to end up with a blank page. They don't give you a blank page. If you ask for a blank page, it won't give you one. It's kind of a strange thing with Adobe. But anyway, we're looking for a blank page here. And then the next thing we want to do, because our button has to be our button design has to be the exact size of the button, which is 2¼ inches by 2¼ inches, or a circle that is 2¼ inches in diameter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize the page over here. You can see that there's a width, so I can backspace, 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 and go 2.25. And then I can go here, backspace, backspace, 2.25. And when I do that, not much has changed over here. But I promise you that this is now a 2¼ inch by 2¼ inch square. Now what we want inside of here is a circle. So let's go over here to Elements and click on it. And if we look for shapes, and they have circles, and I'll just put the circle in there. Now what I need to do is make this circle fit exactly in this square. If I do this ever so carefully, bringing my dots by grabbing the arrows here, and stretching out my circle so that it's touching the edge of the white perfectly. That is what I'm looking for, okay? Now I'm going to, here, let me hide my video capture here, my screen capture. All right, if I go Control A and then I go Control C to copy it, I could also right click and copy it. That should do the same thing. I'm going to make an entirely new flyer, and then I'm going to paste this into it, and it's going to give me that shape, okay? So I'm going to go back to the beginning of Adobe. And again, there's a bunch of different ways I can do it, from suggested. Here's flyer again. Is it going to give me a blank one? It did. But again, if I needed to, I could always just take one of these guys over here and go ahead and just delete everything. But it was nice. It gave me a blank page. And now I'm going to paste. And it gave me this circle. Now, I'm going to move this circle a little bit into the center. Only in that eventually I'm going to want 3 or 4 of my design spread out around this paper, so that when I use the circle cutter to cut it out, I don't want it right up against the edge of the paper. All right, we'll talk more about that later. Another thing I can do is I can change the fill over here. If you look over here, you can see that's the fill. I can just make it, I think I can just make it white, can I? Yeah. Oh, that's kind of pinkish. I guess that's white there. Okay, so it's blank. All right. And now I'm going to put some design in there. I'm going to recommend to you that you do something that is a black and white graphic. So if we go to Elements over here, and we say black and white, design elements that are black and white, shapes that are black and white. We could go icons that are black and white. Oh, there's all kinds of things. There's glasses. You got ski jackets and sweaters and tools and computers, and so I might just do something like this. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of, what if I can make that darker? There we go. Make my computer a little easier to see by changing the color. And I'm going to size this down a little bit, bring it in here. And you can see there's these little crosshairs here. When I move it off to the right and left, it shows me where the center is that way and the center is that way. That means that's right in the middle. Now, right now I'm looking at this page over here in the corner. I can see I'm at 20%. I'm going to make that a little bit. We'll make it 50%, and I can move around a little bit. Okay. Now, let's see. What do I want to do? I want to add some text. So I come back over here to the T for text. Come on. There we go. So I click on that, and I'm just going to click on add your text. I'm not going to do any of this fancy stuff here. I'm just going to click on this, and if I backspace, I'm going to say Tech Ed, and then I can make it a little smaller. Oop, come on, you. Move it over here. And then I'm going to make another text box. Go back to text. Add your own text. Move it down here. I'm going to say rules because tech ed rules. At least I think so. So I'm going to move it down here. And of course, I can always make that smaller. Move it around. I can do that move it around thing where it finds the center. And that's pretty cool. All right. Now, another thing I can do with the text when I click on it is over here where it says text layouts. Okay. So I have to have a text box selected. And when I click on that, it's got this thing called bow. And when I do that, it kind of follows the shape of the circle. I might have to fiddle around with this a little bit. Let's see if I can stretch this without it not, maybe a little bit smaller. It might not work as good as I was hoping. Or I might have to shrink my computer a little more. Get that out of the way. And then if I click on my other text box that says Tech Ed and I click over here, there's a thing called arching. And again, I can arch my letters a little bit and find that center there. And so maybe you like that better than that, or maybe you just go back to text layout and you just go, ooh, that's interesting. Maybe I just go to default, which means just the way it came normally. And I move it like that. And maybe I can make it a little bigger. Maybe I could bold it. Oop, there we go. Try to get that centered up. And let's see. I think I want a lowercase d there. There we go. That makes more sense to me. Okay. Now if I grab this guy, there it is. It's going to line that right up. Tech Ed rules. All right. So here's a black and white button. I can always fill in the background here. I could maybe make it red or, oh, I know. I'll go blue for our color here at GMS is blue, right? Tech Ed rules. Maybe I'll darken up my my computer a little bit, get it nice and black. Now remember, I've zoomed in on this pretty good. This is still, the whole thing is 2¼ inches around. So what I'm going to do is highlight the whole thing, Control C, which as you know is copy, and then Control V, which as you know is paste. And I'm going to get a whole other button here. Okay, let me move this back down to 25%. And Control V, pastes it again. Oop, no. Remember, undo is your friend. Let's see, somewhere out here. Control V, there's another one. So I can move this down here, and I just keep doing that. I'd like you to have 4 of these perhaps, and that's going to be a good place for it to be. Now I can take this page, come over here to download. I'm going to download it as a PDF. And then when you print it, these circles with your words and your graphics on them will be the perfect size to cut out with the circle cutter and to do the rest of the processes it takes to create a button. So it's a little tricky. Again, that whole idea of making your document or your first flyer, the 2¼ inch square so that you can get the size of the circle. That seems a little strange, but that's the best way we've been able to figure out how to do it. All right. Does your thing have to say Tech Ed rules? No, of course not. You can find any of the graphics you want to, type any words that are appropriate for school in there, and you might even be able to import images from off the internet. So if you wanted to make a button for your favorite band, for Taylor Swift or something like that, I'm sure you could figure out how to do that with all of the skills you've already learned in Adobe Express. But the key is to make it all in a circle that is 2¼ inches. Whatever you can fit in there, however you make it look, that's going to work. All right. So good luck, have fun, and I can't wait to see what you're doing.